Hey guys, welcome to Multitaskr. I'm Joe Frosto, CEO and founder of Multitaskr, a marketplace where we unite homeowners and the best service providers in your area. But today I want to welcome you to our podcast. It's called the Home Solutions Network Podcast, and we're going to be introducing the top service providers, clients that have used our marketplace, and some of the people that direct this company, and very exciting stories. The goal of the podcast is to save you time, save you money, give you insights, give you tips, and create value for your home. So come on in and let's check it out. Hello everyone, welcome to Multitaskr's Home Solution Network Podcast, a marketplace where we unite homeowners and service providers. As you may know, Season 2 is all about the ADUs. It's a golden year of ADUs, and we have covered ADU 101, financing, design, and now we're going to change it up a bit, and this episode we will discuss real estate. On this episode, I'm sitting down with Stephanie Gutierrez. She's a licensed realtor in Los Angeles, California. And Stephanie, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
So our listeners can get to know a little bit about you. Can you tell us a little bit about who is Stephanie?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me, Joe. And, thanks for the opportunity. I'm just grateful to be here. A little bit about me. I'm a local realtor in the Long Beach area. And what got me into real estate was right out of high school, I worked at a pediatric ophthalmologist and I was doing medical billing. So I thought I wanted to get into the, pharmaceutical and medical field. But then something just caught my attention about real estate, like trying to make more money, just that little incentive. And I think why a lot of us try to get into the industry, right? Mm-hmm. But it's so hard once you tap into it because you need to make sure that you have an established systems and processes in place. And so I applied at a job on Craigslist. Literally, it was like a reception job at a C21 office in Torrance.
How long ago was that?
7 years ago. Nice. 8 years ago. 2012. 2012.
Okay.
And so I started off there as a receptionist. Then quickly I was moved up to marketing director, and I was managing over 200 agents. And I was also in charge of the recruiting process. And then I moved up to executive assistant for the broker's daughter. She had her own team set up. And so I was working with her and her listing agent and her team. And then I got married, moved to Palm Springs. And out there, I managed over 200 properties. And I was doing HOA management, property management, and real estate. Then I got divorced in 2017 and moved back to Long Beach. Mm-hmm. And I started working with my brother. My brother's a realtor. And it's funny because he actually started with me when I was in charge of the recruiting at C21. Mm-hmm. I was like, hey, you know what? There's a course here for realtors. You should come and join. He was working for my brother and my dad at the time, doing electrical work. So he joined. He takes off and builds his own team. So when I divorced and moved back to Long Beach, I started working with him as a buyer's agent. So I did that for about 4 years. Mm-hmm. And then when this whole COVID thing happened, it just really made me think outside the box. And I was like, maybe I should just do this on my own. I think my business started taking off on Instagram. That's mainly where my business comes from now. And so, that's how I got into real estate.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Nice. Good journey so far. Right?
Oh, so far it's been a blessing.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned COVID. Let's talk about last year. Was a very interesting year. I don't think nobody was expecting a pandemic to hit the way it hit. Right. A lot of people, their business went, it's pretty much gone or it's low or it's dropped big time. But in real estate, interestingly enough, has picked up, especially for the people that are doing it right and that are truly making a name for themselves and are out there promoting, the value they can bring to homeowners or future homeowners. So how did you, take care of 2020? What made you do that change, and how have you been successful? And what do you see that, homeowners or people that are trying to buy a home, why are they buying with the pandemic?
Yeah, honestly, it was a crazy market, right? Back last year around this time in March was when everything happened. And I told myself, I was still working under the team with my brother. And I was like, man, virtual everything, virtual school, I have a son, and just adapting to the new way and having to pivot. It was honestly a growth year for me. So I think that COVID really helped me think outside the box. I know that, in other ways it did affect a lot of people, but in the real estate world, I mean, it really took off, and it showed everybody that we kind of had to get up to speed with technology. And we did that within a matter of months, which is something that I think could have taken more years. So now that we know that we can make improvements in such a short amount of time, I think that if you have your systems in place, processes, you can definitely thrive through COVID, and now it's just a matter of raising awareness. I know we're going to talk about ADUs, and that's one way to kind of look at the market and see the potential, in it. So.
And why do you think the market is so hot right now? I mean, I know rates are low and all that, but what do you think is the combination? Why?
Well, there's many factors that come into play. Like low inventory is one. Housing in LA, we have such a shortage, and the housing demand is so high. And then you throw interest rates into it, and it's just like the perfect combo for buyer demand to shoot out the roof, right? And so, to answer your question, it's just been, I think that's the reason why there's such a high demand. You've got low interest rates and low inventory. And so one of the ways to, and I'll go into that once we talk about ADUs, but that's where ADUs come into play right now because we have such low inventory.
Are you dealing mainly with first-time buyers, or is it repeat?
It's a combination, combination of repeat. Now that I've been selling for the last 4 or 5 years, I've had a lot of past clients reach out wanting to upgrade. Because one of the trends that I saw during COVID is people don't want to be in populated areas. They're trying to move from, like, let's say Long Beach, which is very crowded, out to the suburbs or out to Moreno Valley, to the Riverside County, to Imperial County. So I've noticed that a lot. And that's like a big wave of people who want to upgrade and possibly move into that 4th bedroom that everybody's about the home office right now, So that's kind of where I see it going.
Cool. And so I'm assuming you're helping people do that transition?
Yeah, I'm in the process right now, actually. One of my sellers, and it was all through Instagram too. Really? Because I've managed to keep a lot of my past clients. I made it a rule, to add them on Instagram. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to say no. Like, hey, can I add you on Instagram? Yeah. They're totally fine with it. So I've kept in touch with my clients that way.
So let's say I'm a first time. Let's do actually a transition. So let's say I'm in LA or Long Beach, and I want to move to Riverside County. How do I reach you? How does it work? What's the process?
So if you currently own in, let's say, Long Beach, and you're looking to upgrade, a lot of people don't know this, and I'll say it, you actually can sell your home and buy another one. It's called a contingency sale. And, surprisingly, a lot of people don't think that they can do that. I get a lot of homeowners who ask, if I want to sell this house, can I do it at the same time and move on to the next? Yes, you can. And one of the ways to go about is, depending on how you're going to finance that second property, right? We want to make sure that you meet with the lender. And this goes for you wanting to sell an upgrade, or if it's your first purchase, you want to make sure that you're with a lender who can help you explore those financial options and see which one's going to be the best fit for you, right? Once we have those numbers down, and if those numbers make sense, then we start looking at homes, whether it's your replacement home or your new home, and look at that criteria and stay within that budget. So, yeah.
And then from there, if once you kind of have the financial situation settled, then
once the numbers make sense, then now you can narrow down the list, which I don't know how much narrower it can get because inventory is already low. But the 10, 15 houses that we'll narrow it down to those 10, 15 that we'll go look at and solely focus on. Yeah. And then
so I'm assuming that their home they can sell pretty quickly then, based on where everything's at right now.
Yeah, I mean, because of the low inventory, people are willing to pay above appraised value right now. That's what we're seeing. Wow. You're running across, I think for every house that's on the market, you got about 20 to 30 buyers lined up, just to put it in perspective. So the house sells, but you've still got, 19 people left without a home. And so
then is it complicated for first-time buyers right now then to be able to find the right home?
It is complicated, but you've got to be strategic about it, right? Like in this market, it's all about just, you have to pivot and you've got to look at other ways where there's potential. And so that's where ADUs come into play, because if you're looking at a single family home as a first-time home buyer, let's say you're pre-approved for just a number, 600,000, right? you might not be able to find a lot of options under 600,000 in Long Beach, for example. But if we look at homes that have big lots where we can see a potential of adding an ADU or converting that garage, now you've just added value to the property. So when you think about it that way long term, now the buyers are more at ease, with paying overpriced. Because I actually just had this conversation with the client last night. She's like, I'm really frustrated, because we haven't found anything in the last 6 months. And I just think we're going to be paying too much above the appraised value. And I said, yeah, but keep in mind the end goal, right? Investing is always going to be the number one win. You've already won, like, as soon as you invest. Now it's just a waiting game. You've got to wait for those equity gains to kick in, and then also adding more equity to it by, adding that ADU or converting that garage. And so I just kind of gave her that, that reminder, and then she felt more at ease. But yeah, I mean, it's frustrating for a lot of buyers right now. And I always pitch the ADU idea.
It's a really good thing. We'll go into more detail on it, but definitely. And in regards to like down payment, as anything, is there one thing more favorable than others, or does it matter if you're an FHA buyer or if you're only putting 3.5% down or putting 20% down?
That's such a good question, because I know before, before COVID and before the rates were at what they are now, it was just like the 3.5% pitch or the down payment assistance. I was all for it. I'm still for it. There's still great programs. However, looking at it from a seller's point of view, right, and looking at how competitive the market is, if I have 20 offers on the table, this is how a seller will process those offers, right? You've got your cash offers, you've got your conventional or hard money, and then you've got your FHAs, which you're coming in with very low money down. And so looking at it from their perspective, in such a high demand type of market, you are going to be in a bit of a struggle. So I would definitely consider, if you are going to buy a property, think about coming in with more money down in today's market, because you will stand out. It's just one of the ways.
Sure. Agree. So let's talk about ADUs. You keep mentioning it. I know it's something that we're talking about in the season for this season for our podcast. There's a lot of demand right now understanding what is an ADU. Most people want to do it to create extra streams of income or just give more value. But what's been interesting is you mentioned it, is realtors starting to reach out to us and saying like, hey, I have clients that want to understand if they can build an ADU here, or what is the capacity to do in this property, or can we convert the garage, or what can we do, right? And so it's evolving into where we're becoming sort of that, extra resource for the realtor to give that knowledge and that value to the homeowner, right? Future homeowner or current homeowner, to be able to do something in their property or future property. So what can you tell us about ADUs, and what's your perspective on it as a realtor and as of what's happened so far with the pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, I'm a huge advocate of ADUs, and ADUs are fairly popular in Long Beach because you've got a lot of older homes in Long Beach, that were built in the 40s, 50s, and a lot of these homes were, I don't know if out here in San Diego it's the same, but you've got a lot of like 800 square foot homes or under 1,000 with a huge lot, right? And so it's very popular, and a lot of people have made additions to their homes, whether it's that extra den or, the detached garage being converted, going back again to the shortage in housing. So, I mean, the ADU terminology was very common when I was showing property, but then I met Rogelio. And then it was like ADU 10X, because it shocks me how many people don't know what an ADU is or don't even know the terminology. I had kind of heard it and seen it by showing property, right? I see these ADUs all the time. So then I meet Rogelio, and I mean, he just pretty much schooled me. And then it was just like, wow, like I was into ADUs. Now I'm just more of an advocate because of it. I think that bringing awareness to a lot of homeowners and letting them know that the value of their property is there, right? And it's just giving them those resources on what they can and can't do. I know that it's still like a very new subject, and ADUs are kind of in the baby phase right now, the baby stages. But once it gets out there, I mean, it's so powerful. Even going back to submitting offers right now, a lot of people are overpaying on price. And why I think they will still continue to pay overprice is because the demand, one, and then bringing in the ADUs into play, I mean, people can see the potential value or the appreciation that's yet to happen, right? Like right in front of your eyes. So, yeah, I think that even a lot of these investors, you know, are they see the potential because of the ADU that they're willing to pay overprice. And so that I think that just bringing the awareness to these homeowners is going to be key. And that's one of my missions.
So value, what other benefits do you see that ADU brings to a homeowner or to a future homeowner?
So obviously generational wealth by creating passive income. So more than, you know, creating the equity, I'd say more about the long-term generational wealth that you can provide, you know, for your family and whoever it is that comes into play in the future. So yeah, I think that it's really, really going to change up the industry. And I think that because of ADUs, especially in Long Beach, the prices will continue to rise.
Of course. You know, that's another tip that I don't know if you're aware of, but what I'm starting to see is a lot of people that are, you know, in their 60s, 70s, they have their house paid off or almost paid off, and they're starting to call us to say, hey, I want to put an ADU. It's been interesting either for a relative or for, you know, their grandkids, or some of them are even telling me, I want to move into it, do a 1-story and rent out my 2-story, right? And so it's interesting that, you know, everybody's starting to kind of understand little by little on what is the potential of doing that. And I think if realtors keep educating themselves on that and just other tools that you can do, you can stand out more as someone they can truly trust, right? And not just someone that just wants to make a commission on selling or buying a home, right?
Exactly. No, you're right about that. And one of the things that you mentioned was about, God, what was it? About the ADUs. Oh, going back to appreciation. So I think that because homeowners have, I think over 50% of homeowners in the U.S. have equity. So, I mean, that in itself, the fact that they have equity, you know, they may be able to do a cash out and build that ADU in the back, increase the value of their properties. And like you said, if it's an elder community, then they might want to move in to an elder community and then rent that out. But just bringing that awareness. And that's also one of my approaches. I don't necessarily, every seller that I meet, you know, it's going to be for that sale. I think in some cases, if it makes sense for them to add or convert an existing ADU is another way, like you said, to stand out from all the other realtors and bring value to the homeowner ultimately. Yeah.
And how did you hear about Multitaskr?
Through Rogelio. Yeah.
What did he tell you about Multitaskr?
I mean, honestly, like I told you over the phone, he pretty much had me sold. I like I said, I was already an ADU advocate, and then I met him, and he talked to me about you guys, and it's like meshing the two things that I'm more passionate about, which is ADUs and then technology. I think that in this business, you definitely have to stay up to date with technology. And then you throw COVID into the picture, and that just showed us that we really have a long way to go as realtors. You know, I'm speaking for a lot of us realtors who aren't up to speed with technology. So I love what you guys stand for. I love the whole, you know, property tech. The fact that you guys do specialize in ADUs, or at least is one of the pillars, right, that you guys focus on. And then mainly just bringing the awareness for the Latino community, because I'm big on that. And yeah, the more we know, the better. Knowledge is power.
100%. And that's one of the things that we try to always think of here is if we bring this product, or if we mention this comment, or if we do this podcast, or if we write this blog, or whatever we say, are we empowering the homeowner, right? Are we giving them tips to save time, to save money, or to create value? If we check mark yes on all of them, then we talk about it, right? Because that's the point of the marketplace, is trying to make homeownership simpler, right? There's companies out there like Open Door, Zillow is one of them now, buying houses, and Redfin, and those guys that are trying to realistically kind of remove the realtor out of the picture and be the marketplace to buy and sell, right? And they can do it quicker for you and easier for you. But I get it. It's a business model and it works in some areas. But to me, I think that most homeowners currently and future ones, at least for the next 20 years, I think everybody wants that human touch, and they want that interaction of, I have someone that's going to listen to me, understand me, and will guide me into how do I do this, right? And so now that I have a house and I invested, well, what's next, right? And to me, there's nobody out there that has created sort of guide or a manual on how to take care of the home, or how to maximize the home, or how to save money on the home. And so that's the intention of what we're doing, is trying to give homeowners education, tools, access to everything simpler to be able to make the best decisions on that, right? And tailored to them. So one of the things that I always thought about when we were building this was, I said, eventually realtors are going to team up with us and we're going to help empower them, because now you can compete with guys like Open Door and Zillow that are buying and selling. Right. Now you can bring them more value, not just helping them buy and sell, but now like, hey, look, I can help you by analyzing the property together with Multitaskr and seeing if we can build this or if we can build that, how much it will cost, what it will look, et cetera, et cetera. So we really want to empower realtors to be able to utilize this properly and utilize all the tools that we're creating in your benefit, right? And so I know that you're up in Long Beach and you're moving in different areas, but we're not there yet, but we are. My intention is in about a month or two, we're going to start expanding over there. So, you know, us going there, I would love to, you know, see how we can help you out and any tools that you need, or any education, or just anything that we can do for you, right? But it'll be good to see how we can help you and give you tips also in other realtors, right? Like, hey, in San Diego, realtors are approaching us doing this, and that. Why don't you utilize this in Long Beach to do other things, right? There's realtors that are talking to us about people that didn't know they can build not just one ADU, but suddenly they can build 3 units or 6 units. And so, you know, because we make things simpler and we can get you, like I said, everything from design to financing to manage the whole thing for you or build out the whole thing for you, we just make it simpler for them, right? So cool.
I think that's great. I mean, what you just touched on is, that's why I think us realtors aren't going to go anywhere. At least the ones who know their systems and processes, right, aren't going to go anywhere, because that human touch and that human connection is something that you just can't buy. I mean, Zillow is great, Redfin, Open Door, all those companies are great and have a great business model, but it's one type of business model. I think the emotional connection and to be able to improvise and kind of foresee these plays, right, and give the homeowner different options is not something that can be filtered out through something like Zillow or Redfin, you know? So I think that you guys coming into play and collaborating with other realtors is going to be so beneficial for the community, because whatever it is that you guys are helping and educating these realtors, right, to get up to speed with technology, or just giving them resources on how to create these additions or renovations, I mean, it's going to be such a great help for everybody, both realtors and the community. And so, yeah, I love what you guys are doing.
Well, have you seen the VR technology we use? Yeah,
I'm excited. I'm ready to use it. Yeah,
we're going to show you right now. Sure. But yeah, one of the cool parts is with the construction itself is the VR helps us to remove that uncertainty of saying, okay, I'm going to commit to spending, you know, $200,000 on building this, and how does it really going to look, right? And so the VR, the way we use it is to also bring that to life in a way, right? And so we can design it together with them, and they can kind of say, yes, okay, I like it this way. I want the kitchen here. I want, you know, this there. I do want that granite, or I don't want that color. And it's very hard to visualize that in blueprints, right? Or 2D, 3D even is not the same as actually designing it, you know, in the VR side. So it's pretty cool. I know clients are loving doing that. And so it's becoming sort of a norm now where clients design the whole thing first, and then they'll use us. Or sometimes they go, hey, you know what? I want to go with my brother that's a contractor. And I go, great, you know, we'll help you, we'll guide you. And we get them everything else, and the brother does the construction.
Yeah, I mean, that's funny because, I honestly, I'm all for virtual showings, virtual closings. Like, I can already see that happening right in our field. So what you guys are doing is great. I mean, I love the whole virtual thing. The other thing I was going to say was, you know, I was talking to Rogelio about construction, and I think that new construction is definitely going to be a high demand. So this is a huge tool for these contractors, you know, because everything is increasing and labor is increasing, materials are increasing. And so if you can help with this technology and help them visualize what it is that they have in mind, you might be able to eliminate some costs along the way. A lot of costs along the way.
Cost, time, change orders, all that happens through the industry. Yeah, I agree. Exactly. And it just creating that certainty and making it simpler to understand,
Yeah.
So yeah, no, we're gonna be super happy to work with you and expand to Long Beach and help you which way we can. And thank you for being here. And we're gonna surprise you right now with the VR and show you the showroom and hear your perspective on to see how homeowners are going to be able to use this, and contractors, will be able to use what it is that we're building here.
Well, you got my vote, so I'll see you in Long Beach.
Well, Stephanie, thank you for joining us today in Multitaskr Home Solutions Network podcast. And thank you to our listeners. We hope you enjoyed learning from Stephanie when it comes to purchasing your first home, or upgrading to another home, or downsizing, or or finding a home that you can build an ADU, right? So let us know if there's anything else you need. If not, guys, have a great day, and we'll talk to you on the next episode. Bye. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
And now our guest will experience Multitaskr's virtual reality platform. So the intention is that when you walk into this web VR showroom, this will be basically a screen where we'll put videos, or you can actually talk to clients or do like an education video or kind of guide them what this is about, right? So when they go in, then also you'll be able to actually ask for help as well, and then you can talk to someone live through like a Zoom call or like a web call, but you'll be able to talk to them in here, so they can guide you through the showroom. And the intention of the showroom is that you can design your kitchen, your bathroom, your ADU, and your landscape, and everything will be tied to your zip code, and then it'll show you like different prices and different financing for those designs based on your areas. So walk to the back of it. Yeah, so you see that's a kitchen. So right now you can't do it yet, but it'll be done soon, where you'll be able to click. So keep going to the kitchen. Yeah, so you'll be able to walk in the kitchen. If you want to cook, you can.
I'm like, I'm not doing that today. Today's
but
my
you'll
day
be
off.
able to change. So you'll be able to change everything in the kitchen, like the color, the layouts, the materials, the whole thing. And every time you're changing, it'll give you a price range, a financing range, and even it'll show you sort of a future value of your home based on that upgrade that you're picking. So this is the kitchen, and then in back of you, you'll see the bathroom.
So why do you need realtors again? You just take it over from here.
No, because this is more on the upgrading side,
cool,
right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, where am I going?
So go behind you. There's a bathroom, so it's kind of the same thing, but for the bathrooms. Okay. Yeah. So you'll be able to do the same thing.
Wow, this is dope.
Yeah. Same thing. And then you can go in there.
You can choose the backsplash.
Pick a shampoo you want. Just kidding. Yeah.
Damn, this is so dope.
And then you can walk outside. And outside, you'll be able to also change the landscape. And also the ADU, right? You can change the style of ADU, the material, look. You can walk into the ADU. You can, So how do you think this will help, like, realtors?
I mean, I'm all
how do you
into
think it'll
this
help
techie
homeowners?
Stuff, so this is, wow. I mean, this is amazing. The fact that you can have someone visualize the concept of what they want with this technology, rather than having your construction, your GC and everybody showing up to your house trying to give you an estimate. You can see it from here.
Yeah, it gives you more of a control, to kind of like truly know what you want without having that feel of someone pushing you into a price or a contract. It's more like, hey, let's design it. Let's feel comfortable with what it is. And you can look at ideas of price points based on what you're designing too. Kind of like when you're putting together a car, right? Like you can change features and it'll give you a range of prices and all that. So what you could truly afford and what makes sense, like better return on your money. So, I mean, it's going to be able to give you all that, right? All that transparency. Yeah. And I think for realtors, if you educate homeowners and you team up with us and you kind of show them this and then show them also on their backyard where you can build, it'll also give them that comfort that you're not trying to just push them on something, that you're actually helping them make the right decisions on the best, option for them.
For them, yeah.
Exactly.
This is amazing, guys. I'm just so grateful to be here.
Well, we're glad you're here. And we'll be in your backyard soon. So.
Yes. I want one of these in Long Beach.
Hey guys, thank you for joining Multitaskr's Home Solution Network podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please click on subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our next podcasts. Remember, every single podcast, we're going to give you different advice on how to save time, how to save money, and how to create value. Check us out at gomultitaskr.com. Click subscribe.